I'm sweating just by the pure effort of waiting for this game. So there we have it. I do not know any of Team 2 players. Their ranks obviously indicate that they are quite good. I do know Edeholland and EAGLEMUT. Quite interesting to see the two names over here, and also the two flags. And even the economic population is on 2. Wow. This is probably the first time that I see like a 4-player UI. There's no space for the cards, so I think I'm just going to put all of them on shipment sent. There we go. Oh, let's do on researches. Text being research. There we go. To the north, we have Team Edeholland, featuring EAGLEMUT as India and Edeholland as Brit. Very strong combination. Picking up a few treasures over here, right? 100% hit point. Nobody goes for that. And a really good Native American warrior over here. That would be really useful to have. To the south, we have M0tzii countering as India. It will be really interesting to see how these two Algras are going to be placed. And instead of France, instead of Brit, we have France countering the Brits. Already picking up this wonderful trapped settler with 5 Quixote. This is such an amazing treasure to have, especially so close to your base. This is going to give an enormous boost to his economy. And as you can see, it's just stand and shoot and stand and shoot. And as soon as you reach the 5th wolf, you can crack shot it. So that's going to be really good for the yellow player, s0uLr34v0r, whom I must add I have never seen before. So I'm basically just in the dark as you are about his skills. We see EAGLEMUT. I really want to see the difference between the purple player and EAGLEMUT. EAGLEMUT has built a house, M0tzii has built a house now, and there's a slight difference in the number of villagers. EAGLEMUT has 6 and M0tzii has 5 on wood. And so M0tzii is slightly ahead in food, but EAGLEMUT has more wood and might actually be able to... I don't know what he's going to do with the 200 wood. Just make more villages, I guess. I would have been really excited if he had built a consulate with the 200 wood, which of course is one of the things that I would do as a noob and have enormous amount of idle time because of that. Instead, EAGLEMUT has just queued up a few more villages. None of the players have market yet, so I'm just going to put it on units. All units. That might be perhaps a bit more helpful. EAGLEMUT 1 villager ahead, and Edeholland already had 16 villagers, and s0uLr34v0r has this 1 extra villager, which might actually help him to age up. So let's take a look at text being researched. Yeah, this is quite odd. Edeholland has clicked in, s0uLr34v0r as well, almost at the same time, which surprises me because of that 1 extra villager. Should have been able to save at least a bit of time on that. Also a really nice treasure to over here, 315 coins. Now as a team player, this is what I would go for immediately. And he's going to take at least 1. If his teammate can bring... Oh, nice. This is quite dangerous actually. If you happen to storm one of those outlaws, then they will focus fire immediately on you. Really nice mashup. of all the elephants with the scout. Yeah, I don't know why Ada just allows his scout to be pummeled like that. Because obviously that is not going to be helpful at all. Agrafort going down very near to the trade post, and EAGLEMUT is placing it defensively, and Edeholland has sent one villager building a manor house right now. Both players building a really strong base for their team play. I'm expecting probably like the Agra and Edeholland to go Cav, and we might actually see the same from the yellow player. Yellow player already aged up, putting down the stables already, and I would expect Edeholland to do the same. But as you can see, Edeholland has chosen to go Musketeers probably. So if I could make an uneducated guess, I would definitely go Gurkha Musketeers. However, the Sepoys, yeah, it is very uneducated, but I would go Gurkha instead of Sepoy in this matchup. Let's see what both players are going to bring about. Edeholland, EAGLEMUT, slightly slower. As we saw before, EAGLEMUT had a few more villages on wood, which actually means that he has a bit more wood to his disposal to build. As you can see, a double Rex here. So he's going to go full out on what I think presumably is going to be... it's going to be double Sepoy or so. Like, you wouldn't need a double... What is this? Oh, it's a consulate. Okay. So it's still most likely going to be Gurkha. Let's take a look at what's going to be in queue. EAGLEMUT has one Sepoy in queue, double Musketeers. This is exactly what I was talking about. One rifleman sieging the town already. This might not be an issue at the moment right now, but it's just, as you can see right here, this Bazaar is just getting hammered needlessly, I would say. Losing almost all of his HP simply because they were too careless with Musketeers, double Musk, Sepoy moving in, and all the time we have a small raid to the north by Edeholland, and let's hope that he can quickly respond to this. One villager probably going down, second villager might as well, but thankfully saved it just in time. And this is actually a really nice play of s0uLr34v0r, hoping that while his opponent's attention is fully focused on this map battle over here between Hussars, Musketeers and Longbowmen, and quite an amount of quite a large amount of Sepoy. And as you can see, we're talking about 18 versus 3 from EAGLEMUT. And at this point, this looks rather bleak for EAGLEMUT. Edeholland, however, in a team game, you can still recover from this. But at the same time, he shouldn't lose any villages now, and he has. So that's quite good. At this moment, Yeah, let's take a look at where the consulate is for the purple player. Both players have put it on the Ottoman consulate, and this is going to be a massive raid of the Edeholland. And all these villages, oh my god, that is at least one village going down. Luckily saved most of them, but that is just going to be so costly for his economy to have all that many villages idled. And this is such well played by s0uLr34v0r, forcing him to go back inside, having him to idle that many villages, but at the same time, by raiding with the mass of his cavalry, he is allowing his enemy to push. Well, that is quite regrettable how these longbowmen are in hand combat with sepoys at the moment. One would have liked them to be over here, but probably they were misclicked and were forced to walk all the way around the trade post. Agra Forest seems to be going down, and it is rather nice how EAGLEMUT recovered from that massive loss earlier, but now moving back, afraid of those cavalry moving in. In the meantime, we still have a few cavalry to the north. Yeah, this looks quite good. However, I would definitely not choose to be fighting on this tower and the Agra fort with a few of these sepoy coming out. All this raiding being done on Edeholland has forced him to stop his musketeer production. 3 gardeners coming out, wisely being moved away, trying to save as much of his army as he can, because yeah, I just don't know why they keep on fighting under this. Although the purple army is quite massive at this moment, might be able to deal with this onslaught. Oh, Tiger class coming out. Timing is a bit awkward there, but nonetheless, exactly what he needed to buff his army a bit, and supported by the longbowmen of Edeholland, who is, by the way, still being really nastily raided by. But from the looks of it, Edeholland and EAGLEMUT are going to be able to hold this position. Yeah, this is just remarkably well played by s0uLr34v0r, because he's just been pestering and forcing Edeholland to stop gathering food, which is so important for Britain, especially for the units he's going to make, which is probably going to be musketeers, hopefully. Now, m0tzii moving in with his Tiger class, and whereas EAGLEMUT's Tiger class were necessary to rebalance the battle between the two teams and to preserve this position, m0tz'i's Tiger class have buffed his army so much that they are back again, doing enough damage to be able to force EAGLEMUT to fully focus his attention on only the SARS. So he's not been making any sepoys. Edeholland has made a few more musketeers, and from the looks of it, they're going to be able to again stabilize over here. This is what I really find so exciting about team games, that you know, you are playing, but at the same time there's just so much going on all over the map, and this I would say is rather dangerous. I would definitely build a tower around here, especially when you know that yellow is so intent on raiding you. Really nice pickup over here from EAGLEMUT, but m0tzii is just very good at saving as many of his villages as he can. Let's take a look at how many villages were lost by m0tzii and EAGLEMUT. Only 1 by m0tzii and 4 by EAGLEMUT. And that probably translates as well in the economic population, but as there are so many players on the field, it is quite difficult to see who is now ahead or not. Edeholland pushing out, and in a team game you can do this. You can move the battle to the left, to the right of the map, playing solo for a while, and hope that your opponent is strong enough to keep the majority of the army busy over here. And here we see that m0tzii is actually being rather too careful. He might actually move to the right to help yellow, or move in on EAGLEMUT at this moment, but instead he's just chosen to wait and probably age up soon. Eco-wise, it seems that EAGLEMUT has been more eco-heavy in his choices, whereas m0tzii has only chosen the last card at 30 minutes into the game. Small raid to the right, which is definitely going to be stopped by s0uLr34v0r, who is still the only player in the third age, allowing him all those really nice extra cards like the skirmishers and the guns. And there's not much that Edeholland at the moment can do against this. Let's take a look what's going to happen over here. The Agra fort has been rebuilt, which is quite remarkable. That's basically an investment of around 300-400 food. EAGLEMUT moving in as well. This trade post, it's just gone up. It's probably not going to survive it. Losing both of his elephants as well. And this... ooh. This is actually going to be quite good for, let's just call it the red team. Because the purple team has to wait for yellow to arrive to face this massive amount of army actually. Totally expecting 2 cannons to be brought to the foray, but I think, yeah, it's not quite here yet. Just needs a little bit more XP. Really nice massive battle going on. The guns trying to focus fire on the SOAS, meanwhile being shot at sepoy and musketeers, but getting at least a few good shots out for the Gurkha over here. And this, I should say, spells disaster for the red team, because this basically counters all that happened. Didn't know why the guns moved away. Oh, because they were slightly raided over here. This is actually really nice that Edeholland keeps on pushing over here. He knows that there are this massive amount of village over here. And it looks, actually, depending on how much is going to be brought in, if the red team can move enough units to this main battle over here, they might be able to push this so far that both of the teams have to resign, because this is actually classic what can happen in team games. Like, you choose to go to H3 and then there's this one moment in the game, it only lasts for 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes, where you as the opponent either choose to go up as well, or what Edeholland EAGLEMUT are doing, push in and destroy one of these players' bases. Now, this yeah, the Grumi are on the battlefield now. They just tank so much. This is perhaps the turning point into the game. What just a second ago looked convincingly as perhaps a chance for Edeholland and EAGLEMUT to push purple so much that they would be able to take down his town center, seems actually now, especially with the cannons, as a typical, a little bit too late. The tiny window of opportunity that you have when the opponent goes to H4 and you are still in the second H. The tiny moment where you keep on pushing and making more army and push in and push in. That tiny moment, that window that you had, seems to be gone. Now purple moving in, still has got his trade burst. EAGLEMUT has aged up as well now. Edeholland should be aging as well quite soon now. And I might be proven wrong, and I sincerely hope I am going to be proven wrong. But it does seem like yellow has got such a massive advantage now with his 10 villagers, that it will be rather difficult for EAGLEMUT and Edeholland to deal with the army that purple and yellow can bring into the field. At the moment though, yellow has chosen to remain on guns. Actually guns mainly. And strangely enough, doesn't have skirmishers. Skirmishers, by the way, were a special unit that, contrary to the musketeer line formation, were placed mostly to the left side of a line formation, and were just moving in, poking in, taking a few shots, then scouting left and back, and as portrayed in the game correctly, were very vulnerable to cavalry, which made the French players, so the Napoleon, think of a very interesting strat. He would ask his skirmishers, "Oh, heavy cannons coming on into the game," and this, there are enough units to deal with the heavy cannons, but as long as these cannons are protected by the guns, not much that these units can do against them. Purple meeting really nicely with yellow over here. This is what I really like about team games, the communication between both the teams, and factory being sent as well. Purple's base is getting hammered. Ooh, that was like 9 units instantly. It's regrettable how the guns are not in front of the cannons, which actually opens them for this rather simple attack. It was completely unnecessary. But you do see that all of this army is just focused fire on killing this one cannon with 75% resist. And now, only now, they have time to focus on the army. Which, if they manage to get all of this army right here, this definitely looks winnable. This looks like very in favor of orange. I'm saying that it is in favor of orange because I do have to say that EAGLEMUT has virtually no army at the moment. It's got a few sepoy to the left. We should definitely bring them in because at this moment 10 musketeers can do so much damage. This, however, is rather difficult to deal with. Let's see if the sepoy are in time. Some goons in melee mode, trying to get this last cannon. Can they? Yeah, they have. But still, such a nice positioning of the longbowmen, preventing these reinforcements to join the main army. And despite the Urumi, it seems that these longbowmen of Edeholland are just going to be able to do so much damage, and especially splitting up these two teammates, which is actually rather important to do. If you can, you definitely must separate your teammates, the enemy teammates, so you can pick off this ever more dwindling Gurkha army. I do hear some grenadiers. Yeah, this seems more like a desperate attempt at a small reinforcement of the main army has got. But he's sent to Urumi. He hasn't got a lot more left. s0uLr34v0r, despite having one of the best ecos of all the players in the game, unable to add enough cuirassiers to deal with this many sepoy, and trying to find an opening. And here, a few more Urumis and s0uLrs moving in. Yeah, he's definitely going to lose a lot of these longbowmen. But focus firing all of those longbowmen on one cuirassier, making certain that none of them are sieging. Yeah, this looks like a GG. Unexpectedly, I would say. Especially the beginning, in which the s0uLr34v0r was raiding really nicely to the north, harassing and pestering Edeholland, in driving him to put all of his villagers back into his town center. Really did make the game go in favor of M0tzii and s0uLr34v0r. But when the Agra fort went down and m0tzii got pushed in his own base, from that moment on things started to go downhill. 1000 wood being sent. It looks like Edeholland could basically use it for another town center or for a few more upgrades. Yeah, it is commendable that purple is still in the game. At this point I would have resigned. It is just when you see this massive amount of enemy army moving in and you look at your teammate and you see he's driven to plantations, not being able to find the natural resources necessary to... Ooh! If these longbowmen are caught out like this, this might... Well, it's not going to mean a turning point in the game, because I think they're not upgraded, are they? Right, they are. They are gendarmes. But here you see that teamwork. Help you. Well, Cheetah, like, it is good what yellow is doing, but in team games, this type of pushing and going to H4 and helping your teammate has to be done in coordination with your teammate. And you just saw, like, when purple was being pushed so hard, at that time he should have made those cuirassiers. At that time those cuirassiers should have moved in, driven a wedge in that massive longbowman army, and perhaps they could have then connected again down here, and then all of this economy of purple might have been saved. But at this moment purple is just driven so much back into the yellow's base. Once again, I must say, despite the rather large amount of cuirassiers at this moment, and I think they are carded. Yeah, they're carded. No, they just upgrade. Looks impressive. The only thing that purple can give to this effort is a few minutemen or irregulars. And it is just remarkable how those longbowmen just stand there and kill those cuirassiers. I would have liked these longbowmen focus fire on the rest as well. Almost nearly got them, but just not nearly enough. Don't know why the audio is still so loud. Oh. So put it on 15. Let's see again. Yellow still is the only player who manages to push off this onslaught. And I don't know for how long, but this has been 3 versus 4 for the majority of the last 5 minutes, and m0tzii has called it down, unable to support his teammate. And even the yellow played really well. He actually did, but just didn't manage to connect with his teammate. Like, I don't know if they have communicated with each other, but it is so fundamental to keep on flashing and saying that you have to push, we have to do this, move here, move there. And at several moments in the game, you did see that purple was left alone, while yellow was just off doing his own thing. And I think you can see that here somehow, like here, when you see that purple's losing most of his army, while yellow is actually going to H4. And all those resources he might have, perhaps better used for more hussars to support this army. And at that moment you can see here that among all of these players, yellow has got the smallest army, and from that moment on they're just being pushed and pushed and pushed. Really nice game. For a moment it looked like m0tzii was going to carry the game well into a victory for his team, but then I think the regrettable choice of s0uLr34v0r to go to H4 might have cost the team's game. This is actually why I like